What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at you once again. I placed some videos up there earlier, and I placed some other videos up there in context for better sense of clarification, informational purposes. People, in these times we live in, these times I think now more so than ever, I think that a lot of people are becoming more aware of what is really going on. And some people always call things conspiracies, whatever, and that's never really the ring of my channel. My ring on my channel is to basically keep the flow of the information going in order for you to be able to navigate these times, because it's more important now than at any other time in history. But you can believe what you will, you have that freedom, you have that choice. But for those who have already been in class, let us proceed between what is in retrospect to give a little bit more insight on the reason why I started my channel in the first place about being an SPC, or in retrospect, a secured party creditor. Now, if you're watching this video around children, please, above all means, remove the children from your immediate vicinity, because my videos are not for children. Because I often tend to use language, which of course is not popular in the sense of, being very articulate, which is fine because, hey, it is what it is. This is not one of those office-based channels anyway. So, hey, it's fine. But without further ado, here it is in simplicity. A SPC may be, number one, a person who received collateral for a loan. Number two, a bank which received collateral for a loan. Or three, a person who is a bank who received collateral for a loan per security agreement. Now, there's three SPCs. Now, it's a contract between a creditor and a debtor which establishes responsibilities, expected performance rights, etc. that can be enforced by law. The security agreement essentially is the first step to the SPC process. Also, it's a security agreement in which evidences the existence of an agreed upon security interest in collateral of the debtor. Now, if people who have the hardware, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to elaborate nor show examples because you already know exactly what I'm talking about. A security agreement becomes valid after the following elements are in place. Here are the steps. 1, it has been put into writing. 2, there must be a reasonable description of collateral in question. 3, it must have debtor's signature. Creditor's signature is optional. Now, the above can be overlooked if the creditor is already in possession of the collateral. Attachment is the enforcement between the creditor and the debtor. Its necessary components which form attachment are the following. Number 1, it must be a valid security agreement. Already discussed, as I said prior, the SPC must give value to the collateral. There must be a claim already in place, a financing statement. This is why I tell a lot of people, before y'all start to proceed with a lot of this stuff that I've been saying on my channel for years, you must be a SPC, or none of what I say applies to you. You will be fooled, you will be deceived, you will be, mocked and derided by social whole as far as your business is concerned, or other individuals from other third-party, informational sites. You must be an SPC first. That's why I explain to people. SPC comes first. If you're not a secure party creditor, none of this stuff I say on my channel will apply to you. That is fundamentally the primary step, which in and of itself takes a lot of study, time, and computer literacy. Now, is it inevitable? No, sure it's not. It's very easy. You could become an SPC within a week if you know what you're doing correctly. It doesn't take forever. You could be an SPC in no time. But then there's some people who say that they're SPCs and they're not, or they have not filed the UCC correctly, and then they place themselves as the debtor, and then they also place themselves as a secure party, which in and of itself is another thing, but we'll get into that later as opposed to why I said that. There must be a claim already in place, a filing statement, and the debtor must still be able to retain the rights over the collateral. Having title is not a requirement. Perfected security interest. So like I just said, people may disagree with me. and I know they will because they either been misinformed, disinformed. But on your UCC1, if you filed it and it is on record and you're the debtor, it is incorrect. And I'm not going to say anything further on that because I just said it the way it is. The debtor must still be able to retain the rights over the collateral, but having title is not a requirement. Perfected security interest. The purpose of perfected security interest is to give the SPC a superior claim right over the collateral of the debtor. The SPC in reality is not part of the pecking order of other creditors who are making claims against the debtor's estate collateral because the SPC never becomes a party to a bankrupt estate. A security interest which has been previously filed is superior to any interest of any trustee. It is therefore the right of the SPC to full and complete satisfaction of any debt owed to him or her. This establishes that before any other party, including trustees to a bankruptcy, can begin any recouping process, the SPC is entitled to be first compensation without exception. And that is according to Article 9 in regards to secured transactions of superior security interest. See, when I first started this channel, I used to have, I could always tell that they were lawyer types. I could always tell in comment section. For some reason, I've been given that gift to be able to know who is and who I'm talking to and what I'm talking to through specific verbiage. They tried to disagree with me at every angle that what I was saying was not real. But it is very real because if you do your research and you start looking into what secure transactions are in regards to Article 9, you see that it says generally for the public that it talks about particular superior security interest, which in and of itself entitles the secure party, which should be you on the form, to enable the debtor entity, whomever it may be, not yourself, to basically, in sense, establishes that before any other party, including the trustees to a bankruptcy, can begin any recouping process, the SPC is entitled to be first to compensation without exception. End of discussion. Now let's talk about UCC financing statement. I know I said this many times, but I think that this is the most clarity I can give on this subject to make it very simple for you, so that way you can see things in a very different light as opposed to a one-track sense of seeing it and just without seeing it. The filing of the UCC1 is one of a number of ways to perfect security interest. It is a way in which one would place on the public record a lien upon another's real and tangible property and or estate. In other words, why would you put a lien against your own property and or tangible estate? So all the people who wish to contest me and say that I'm wrong, that's what you're doing. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let your UCC1 still be on record and remain defunct. That is your choice. It is your business. Simple. The following is a brief description that requires steps to completing the form. Names of the creditor and debtor. The filing may be done filling out the form on paper or online. Keep in mind that doing it online is likely the better approach due to the fact that any mistakes made can be corrected before submitting the filing. The cost is also half of what one would pay by sending it in the mail. Don't need to say it again. The collateral must be stated on the form to state all assets in regards to your paragraph, and your verbiage is very sufficient. Minor errors do not invalidate the process. So if you have a typo, it doesn't matter. It's still the same. Misleading information can impair the claim's validity. Misleading information can impair the claim's validity. I will say it one more time. Misleading information will impair the claim's validity. There is no obligation to sign the form. The filing lasts for 5 years, as I say all the time. But can it be extended by filing a continuation statement within 6 months of the date of the expiration, which is 4 to 6 months. So that's the best you're going to get. But you might as well just go ahead. I'll just say go ahead and just do it every 5 years and just get it over with. It is what it is. Discharge through accord satisfaction. According to satisfaction is a method of discharging and terminating an existing right and constitutes a perfect defense. In an action and enforcement for the previous claim, in doctrinal theory, accord and satisfaction require both a contract, known as an accord, and performance, which is payment of that contract, which results in equal satisfaction. Accord and satisfaction is established where the debtor transmits a check to his creditor containing a note condition, and the acceptance by negotiation of the check constitutes for full payment for items referred to in the letter of transmittal, and creditor then accepts and negotiates check. However, the amount owed between parties must be unliquidated, that is, in dispute. See matter of Leckel's estate, NYAD 4 Department, 1976, 388 NYS 2D 85854 AD 2D 205. UCC 201 clarifies, it is the wording of accord and satisfaction upon an instrument, so written that a reasonable person against whom to operate or to have noticed it. Conspicuous terms include the following: a heading in capitals equal to or greater in size than the surrounding text, or in contrasting type, font, or color, and surrounding text of the same or lesser size. And B, language in the body of a record display in larger type than surrounding text, or in contrast type, font, color, or surrounding text of the same size, or set off from surrounding text of the same size by symbols or other marks that call attention to the language. Here is tender dispute, and I'll conclude here. A tender dispute is a statement made in writing to the debtor containing instructions on where and to whom all payments of accord and satisfaction are to be sent. If an accord and satisfaction payment is sent in the correct location, the debt will be considered discharged. Notice what I said. If an accord and satisfaction payment is sent to the correct location, the debt will be considered discharged. So it has to be sent to the correct location. Not to, say for instance, if someone says that you have, or some entity says you have to pay something, and you send the information to that entity without going to the higher authority in regards to what that entity operates, such as their legal department, it is not discharged. In short, if you would like to discharge debts, you have to go to the higher ups, because now you're dealing with a level of intelligence that is not given to general employees, period. A company must make an accord and satisfaction tender dispute statements in writing before the first payment is made. The dispute statement can be made in the original contract on the first billing statement. If a company fails to provide such information or instructions before any initial payment is made, it may be regarded as acceptable to forward the accord and satisfaction presentment to any established location for regular payments. Now, most of these are terms that I dug through my archives to help people who, for some odd reason, still do not get this. Your object is to not try to wrap your mind around figuring it out, as far as figuring it out from your perspective. See, in this commercial sense, your perspective doesn't matter. That's why a lot of people err, because they have very little to no materials, they have very little to no research done, they have very little to no computer literacy, and they have very little to no actual legalistic conversation with the entity in which they're trying to discharge. That's the reason why a lot of people fail. And that's the reason why this is only for a person who dedicates their life and their wherewithal to their situation. And I know that separates the wheat from amongst the tares, because I know there's a lot of people who swear to God that they're going to pay somebody some money and they're going to fix it. It don't work like that. You have to put in work. You got to put in some energy, some effort. I don't care if you pay for whatever, somebody to fill out the paperwork. If you don't have computer literacy to correct errors or to address the errors, or have research materials to correct errors or assist the errors, or you don't have any of the above, as I mentioned before, you wasted your time and your money. You only really should be mad at yourself, because you haven't taken the wool off of your eyes, of your understanding, and you haven't torn and pierced the veil enough to be able to attach the maturity that is necessary for you to do this on your own. People need to understand that these processes, this is fucking business. This is business. This is not about trying to get out of something or whatever. No, this is business. And another thing is, your problems did not accrue overnight. This is not no quick fix. What's that bullshit they sell on TV late night? What's that bullshit? Flex Seal. No, it's not that. You have to learn how to deal with your affairs in a business state of mind. Stop with that commoner state of thinking. That is not going to fly. You have to have research reference material. You have to have computer literacy. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for computer literacy. That is something you must learn. See, the system knew what it was doing when it put people through the public indoctrination system. It gave you just the minimal skills necessary just to fucking survive. Bankers, attorneys of bankers, attorneys of high-ranking corporations, attorneys in the legal system. They all know this shit. They know this shit. Now, I don't think that they're ever going to tell you. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're not going to tell you this stuff at all. And the moment you believe that, you're duped. You're doomed. I'm not going to tell you about this stuff. Because keeping this secret is how that can keep working out there in that world. But it's to keep your world limited in space. See, the more leeway that you give yourself, because you start giving yourself more as opposed to the minimal that the system is giving you, things start to just slowly dissipate. See, it's not hard once you have the tools to reference. Once you have the tools, then you know exactly, okay, A, B, C. Just like in this video, I know somebody, or a few hundred people, the few views I do get from not being shadow banned, but long story short, still ain't gonna get what the fuck I said. And that's just the truth. It's still not gonna get it. Even though I said 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, still gonna have something to say. Still gonna have something to say. And it to me, it's like, you know, what old folks used to say, it's just like talking to a brick wall. And I know that there's a lot of other channels that come down here and they put their content, names aside, don't need to say nothing. They ain't telling y'all the motherfucking thing. Yeah, I tell y'all shit. You know, so for all you agents that think it's all about money, I just gave you the fucking steps for you to do it yourself. So you ain't got to say shit, but I know you're not going to get it. I know you're not going to get it. See, how do you hide something? In plain fucking sight. But you'll go sit there and listen to somebody else's channel for an hour or two and just still not understand what the fuck they said. You just wasted an hour. You might as well should have scrolled down your Instagram timeline. Some of this, I'm going to be honest with you, ain't really for a lot of people. Straight. As I emphasized on it before on my channel, a lot of this stuff I say on these things, you should have never known in the first place. More so less how to do it. This is something you should have never even known about in the first place. That's a fact. But there's nothing done in the dark that won't come to the light. See, these things are written, codified, and the system had to abide by it. It's not the other way around. That's why people are like, well, where's justice? There's no justice. There's no such thing. It's commerce. Everything you do is commerce. So get out of the figment of your imagination, because when you start making people accountable for the things they do against you, and you can prove that they're accountable, shit changes. See, business starts to change. Their practices start to change. See, when you go in there with that slave, customary, English subject servitude state of mind, it works just fine for them because they know that your degree of knowledge does not compare to how it will impair their function. But see, when you go in there with the tools and the material and the paperwork and the wherewithal to back it up, things change. Things change drastically. Trust me. I wouldn't say this stuff if I didn't do it myself firsthand. There's no soul on the face of this fucking plane we call Earth that cannot tell me I did not do this shit several times. Several times. To the system. Not petty debts and credit cards and all that. I don't even use those things. I don't even use them. They're a complete waste of time. Because I understood the concept of credit. Sure ass. You just sign it over to a third party who gets paid off interest-bearing payments. They're a complete waste of time. No, I take it to the beast. Because whether the beast likes it or not, these are the rules. This is how we play chess. And If you don't like that, fine. It's fine. I don't like what happens to me. So this is why we have to provide the remedy. That's what this is. This is the remedy. This is not no fucking game. This is not to try to pretend to know something other. No, it's about enhancing your quality of life, your understanding. See, majority of the people we know in our lives, in our society, they chase paltry dreams. They chase such bullshit, vain concepts of things that, although they seem as if they're advancing, will still keep them in the same place that they are. Whatever new concept is out there, trust me, if you're not in control of it, or you're not the one who's manufacturing its production for it to benefit your life, don't get hooked on it like it's a drug, people. Don't. And woe to those who do. Because the system is going to keep doing its thing. It's going to keep rolling how it works. Y'all going to keep going through the same political melodrama. Y'all going to keep going through the same distractions. Y'all going to keep going through the same media. It's a circus. Okay? And the only thing that you do not see ever publicized in the public spectrum is the shit I talk about on my channel. You don't see that you don't see it at all. Because it's the stuff you need to be worried about. That's a fucking fact. See, when you become a critical thinker, you learn how to start applying what you learn to what you should. Stress starts to become a non-factor. Bills, as far as the understanding of the concept of what they once were, stressful entities, now are considered what they are as far as presentments are concerned. So now it's not so much more of a problem. Now you have a solution. See, this is why the fine line has been drawn in previous videos. Because I know for a fact that this is not going to resonate with a lot of people, which is fine. Which is fine. If you wish to view the content for future reference, that's fine too. If you don't wish to listen to what I have to say on my channel, that is fine too. But if you do wish to embark upon the path, some of us have already been upon the path and have to, sharpen up a little bit, keep things rolling, or pick up our feet and start moving in the proper direction. That's fine too. See, not singling nobody out. This is fundamental facts. You see what I'm saying? These are facts that I'm saying that this is the way it goes. Anyone who has ever listened to what I have to say, trust me, has never fucking failed. Has never failed. And I'm not saying I'm the be-all, end-all. Hell no, because there's a lot of problems in this world I am not going to pretend like I can't solve. And I am not going to pretend like I want to solve them. No, I love my moral energy. And I'm not going to spend it trying to solve other people's problems. I will assist you, but I'm never going to tell you I'm going to solve your problem. Now, what you can do is help yourself. See, everybody always says, God helps those who help themselves. No, people help those who help themselves. I have never seen that written anywhere. That has always come out of people's mouths. It has never been more pertinent today than at any other time in history for you to get on your shit. And I ain't talking about go chase fiat, because that's what society says. Chase the fiat, chase the money, chase the money. You get the money, what you do with it? Not a damn thing. Stop chasing things that are temporal. Please, people, because even the system depends upon temporal things. And as long as you can keep providing the impetus for those temporal things to be taken, they're going to love you. And they're going to make sure that you stay ignorant to this stuff. And they're going to make sure that you keep on providing the impetus for those temporal things so they can keep their comfy and cozy position. But you didn't hear it from me. That's facts. These particular corporate entities would like for you to be stupid. See, I tell people, you go to school, you learn about what? Reading, writing, arithmetic, history, science, biology, calculus, as you go to higher realms, sociology, so forth and so on. What's the number one thing you're never actually given an option to go for unless you actually have the funds and the social backing to go? Law school or medical school, but we're talking about law right now. They don't tell you shit about law. The only thing they tell you about law is obey it and don't question it. They don't teach you about anything. They teach you about the Constitution, but never even teach you that it's a legal document and it's not that feel-good document that you should have sentiment towards. It's a corporate charter, and that's how the memorandum of its codes are going to run. It's a 3-tier system. So, You're never taught about that, but we have to realize that there comes a time where we have to look back on our lives and witness the things that we called mistakes weren't really mistakes at all. They were actually things we did out of ignorance because we didn't know how the commercial system worked. So now, from this point forward, you can't blame a motherfucking thing or soul but yourself. Because you rather not even learn the truth than to learn the truth and not even apply it. You better off not fucking knowing. Countless millions of souls in this country, or this world for that matter, don't even have a economically legal sense of anything. All they know is to spend and spend and go into debt and then try to accrue more and then go further into debt. That's all they know. That's all they know. It's called economic slavery. There are the very few, the fortunate who do make it out and, they become self-employed and, they become financially independent. But then you have to realize that things like last year happened, things like last year, a whole situation that took socially, globally, the whole pandemic derailed a lot of people from that determination. Then it brought everybody back down to what? Reality. And now you're here. 26 minutes of truth. But you don't have to listen to me. It is what it is. I don't ever want to tell people I'm authority on this stuff. No. I am a person, an individual, I should say, more or less, who, through my experiences, or a lot of things I say on my channel, I can say a lot of things because I experienced them. It's not just what I heard or what I thought, what I read, or what I would like to happen. I've actually lived it, But the beautiful part is a lot of situations and things that people come back in life, I don't have those problems. I think people think justification of life comes through the accumulation of problems. It's not the case. But teach his own. If first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the content. It is what it is. And if you would like to inquire about information, please leave your emails short. And serious inquiries only. I stress and emphasize that much more now today than at any other time on the history of my channel being existent. Serious inquiries only. Other than that, there's nothing else to talk about. Take care. Y'all stay safe out here. Peace, light, love. Agents, you know what it is. Stay tuned for the next upload.